the 10th day in a row, India's farmers are on a protest. The agitation in Madhya Pradesh has already claimed 7 lives, but the anger refuses to die down. Fresh clashes erupted on the Bhopal-Indore highway today amid reports of sporadic violence in different parts of the state.
It is very tense, the situation is very volatile. Almost 11 districts are currently facing violence, and there have been reports coming of violence, vehicles being set ablaze. But at the same time, it seems that Madhya Pradesh police is also taking a front foot.
It started in Maharashtra, then the fire spread to Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, and now farmers of Tamil Nadu have responded to the clarion call, renewing their agitation.
They want compensation for not just 82 farmers, but also for 400 farmers. So this protest is not only directed towards the centre, but also the state government, and they want Chief Minister Edappadi Palaniswami to come and respond to their request as soon as possible.
Please keep your promise. Withdraw the case from the Supreme Court and give the pension to the farmers, those who are above 60 years.
Amid the unrest, the political theatrics have begun. Politicians making a beeline for the strife-torn areas to express solidarity. First, it was Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi, and today the Aam Aadmi Party queued up for photo ops.
किसी भी लोकतांत्रिक सरकार को इस प्रकार से किसानों के ऊपर गोली चलवाकर उनको मरवाने का हक नहीं है। ये वही भारतीय जनता पार्टी है जिसने अपने घोषणा पत्र में कहा था स्वामीनाथन आयोग की रिपोर्ट लागू करेंगे।
लोकतंत्र में हक है सबको कि वो पुरअमन तरीके से अपना आंदोलन करें, लेकिन उन पर गोली चलाना ये तो बहुत ही तानाशाही रवैया है मध्य प्रदेश गवर्नमेंट का। और हम जाएंगे और जो किसान उसमें जख्मी हुए हैं और जिनकी मौत हुई है उनके घर पर उनके परिवार से सहानुभूति व्यक्त करेंगे।
Even as netas blame each other for the mess, the horrific reality of India's agrarian sector has become more apparent with 2 more farmer suicides. So Mirror now asks, will the government implement the recommendations of the Swaminathan Commission and waive off farm loans? Mirror Now report.
Well, the fire continues to burn across our country now. Bangalore, Solapur, Tamil Nadu and Madhya Pradesh, as farmers' agitation continues and more suicides pile up. A farmer has committed suicide today in Madhya Pradesh. This leads to 7 deaths so far. The question we are asking is very simple. The demand across the board is about farm loan waivers. All of these farmers want their loans forgiven. Should these loans be forgiven, my urban audience? I ask you this, because it's coming out of your tax money. It comes out of the money you paid as taxes when you bought petrol, when you paid for a service, when you swiped your card. There was tax deducted from all of it, and that is the money that we're looking at, either in state VAT or an excise duty that was collected, that will eventually decide whether or not these farm loans should be waived. Is it unfair for farmers across the country to ask for a loan waiver after farmers in Uttar Pradesh have already received one? How are the farmers in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh different from the farmers in UP? Why shouldn't they get a farm loan waiver? And if they don't get a farm loan waiver, have we done much else as any government, past or present? Have they done much else to save the farmers from their current moment of crisis? There are several people who say that this entire protest is politically motivated, that there's no truth in it. Can you motivate a happy person to commit suicide because of your political gains? That's my question. Why will farmers commit suicide to help a political party unless they are truly in distress? I want to ask you today as viewers to also vote on whether or not you believe that farmers' loans should be waived off, because we have to decide. This is our money. It's not coming out of a magic box that the government owns. It comes out of money that we pool in to make our country better. We have to prioritize if making our country better involves saving our farmers, and if this is the real way to save our farmers. Joining me on the show this evening, Gopal Krishna Agarwal, National Spokesperson of the BJP. Nasir Hussain, spokesperson of the Congress party. Also, Yogesh Pandey of the Shetkari Sangathan, who stands for the topic of farm loans have to be waived off. Chengal Reddy, farmers activist who's also for the topic. T. Chandrashekar is a commodity expert who's against the topic. Sujay Kantawala, senior lawyer, is against the topic. And Shrikant Barhate is a former World Bank consultant and a political commentator who is also, from what I understand, against the topic. Like we do every day, in order to make sure that everybody gets a fair amount of time on the show, you will have 2 minutes to make your opening arguments and then 2 minutes each to rebut what is said by other people. I will start with Mr. Gopal Krishna Agarwal. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, do you believe that farm loans should be waived off? Your time starts now.
No, as I said earlier, that farmers have a difficult situation at present. They have so many issues that have to be tackled. Ultimately, there are short-term solutions and long-term solutions. Short-term solution can be farm loan waiver, but that, as I said, it's FM has clarified that it has to be a state issue. Every state has to take decision on farm loan waivers depending on its fiscal positions of those states and the position of the farmers. There are so many issues with regard to MSP, situations of market accessibility, then warehousing arrangement, then issues of coverage of irrigation land, those so many issues. What is the nature of their crop pattern? Then these issues have to be tackled, and on that basis the state have to take a call whether they want to waive the farmers loan or not. And if they want to waive, they are free and free to decide, but they have to also decide based on their fiscal positions. They have to bear it in their budget, because this farm loan waiver cannot be done based on central assistance. Center will help into national market accessibility. Center in itself is taking a strong step towards doubling the farmers' income by 2022, and for that we think that reducing the cost of input the farmers is more important. Providing irrigation coverage area more to the farmers, that's very important. Providing insurance covers to subsidy of premium is very important at the time of natural calamities. Then
right. Gopal Krishna, 2 minutes.
The farmers out of the clutches of the APMC Act, which is the culprit.
Right, your 2 minutes are up. Your 2 minutes are up. I want to take this to Yogesh Pandey. Right, your 2 minutes are up, Mr. Agarwal. I want to take this to Yogesh Pandey. Yogesh Pandey, 1 second. My question to you is how much of this has actually happened on the ground? We know that there is a Pradhan Mantri insurance policy for farms, crops, which is something that farmers needed for a very long time. There's a lot of stuff being announced right now in terms of irrigation that the Prime Minister has announced as well. There is also a movement to remove the burden of APMCs on the farmers. So can't farmers now wait for these projects to play out?
No, it is a total absurd what you are saying. The amount which farmers pay as a premium to the insurance companies and what he gets in return, if you go to that figure, the clear picture you can present before the audience. Second thing, there is a growing angst among the farmer. It is at a boiling point. And one more thing I would like to quote, that please there should be no misinterpretation among the farmers. Farmers are not begging against the public. Why there is this picture being quoted that farmers are asking taxpayer money? Farmers are largest consumer of this nation. We cannot forget this, because 70% population live in villages. Petrol and diesel are largely consumed by farmers. Diesel is one of the largest consumer by farmers. Now tax collection on the diesel and petrol is the highest. Maharashtra share in the government's revenue is 30%. And if you go to that statistic, the right of the Maharashtra farmers stand first. Why UP farmers are given waiver and not Maharashtra? That is a totally political gimmick. Because there was election in UP and BJP wanted to garner farmers' vote. That's why they made a promise and they had to fulfill that promise. That's why Mr. Yogiji declared the loan waiver. Why not in Maharashtra? Because there are no elections in Maharashtra. The voice of the farmer is suppressed by this government, and government has started to become a vindictive with the farmer. This attitude will not be acceptable. 2 days farmers have relieved this strike, and on 12th and on 13th, on 12th there are going to be agitation, on 13th they are going for a rail roko. Please, please, please hear the farmers' voice. Today Tamil Nadu, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, even Gujarat is joining, and government should wake up. Our Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Modi ji, when there is a bomb blast in London, 5 people have died, he tweeted and offered his tribute. But what about farmers? 6 farmers are killed in Madhya Pradesh, and there are no one from the BJP from Delhi center have come and look into the matter. They need. Today some media reporter asked question to Honorable our Agriculture Minister. He says do yoga. What a nonsense statement. Such statement and such attitude will not be accepted. Please, please, the farmers are sons of soil.
All right, Yogesh Pandey, your time is up. Your time is up. I want to bring in G. Chandrashekar. G. Chandrashekar, this whole ask of the fact that the government is, and I'm going to tell you, Narendra Modi's agricultural schemes, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana of 3,596.
There is a 110-page booklet. I have seen that booklet.
Yes.
It was released a couple of months ago. Now, there are 2 things. There are 250 million families in India, of which 130 million families are farming families, 130 million farmers, and you add his wife, it becomes double. I think let's assume that the entire family is engaged in agriculture. Therefore, more than 50% of the population is engaged in agriculture and related activities. That's number 1. Number 2, what is important for us is to strengthen agriculture, and we have done precious little to strengthen our agriculture to ensure that farmers and farming families get a decent amount of income.
Previous government, who's done precious little?
No one. I don't think successive governments over the last 25, 30, 40 years have miserably failed in making agriculture and the farmer the central piece of policy making. Therefore, we need policy support, we need investment support, we need research support. None of this is happening. But I'm coming from a different point. Farm loan waiver, as I've said in the past, is an absolutely perverse way of incentivizing farmers and agriculture. It started 10 years ago. Then in the last couple of months, UP again started after 10 years. Other farmers are joining in simply because they think if UP farmers can get this relief, why should I not get this relief? There are differences also in their status and their situation. Take Karnataka, take Tamil Nadu, take parts of Maharashtra. They have faced dry conditions, drought-like situation over the last 2 or 3 years where there is a very genuine case of distress. Take Madhya Pradesh. Last 2 years, agriculture growth rate in Madhya Pradesh is 14%. Last 7 years, annual average growth rate is 9%. Therefore, MP, Madhya Pradesh is doing extraordinarily well in agriculture, and therefore that should give us a lot of comfort that farmers, a majority of farmers in Madhya Pradesh should be better off than the rest of the country. Why are they agitating? I want to know why are they agitating.
I want to pick up 2 things from what G. Chandrashekar has said. One is that no government, this government or previous government, has done anything for the farmers, and I'll take that to the politicians to rebut. I still have to bring in Chengal Reddy. He also said very interestingly that there are farmers in distress. We have to find those farmers and we have to help those farmers. Chengal Reddy, do you believe that the government, with all of its Aadhaar system and its digital system, has the ability to find the farmers that are truly in distress, the marginalized farmers, and waive off their loans? Is that what needs to be done? Chengal Reddy, your time starts now. Your 2 minutes start now.
The first thing that we must all understand, that this agriculture being a state subject and subsidies to be given by state is totally wrong. It's a misconceived, and we farmers are not willing to accept it. Because if you look at that, fixation of MSPs by Government of India, procurement is by Government of India, processing is Government of India, entire credit insurance is by Government of India, and export-import policies is by Government of India. Now this is, when it comes to farm sector, Government of India has a very, very peculiar argument, not that the present government, which is there for last 30-40 years, like our friend said. See, they always say agriculture is a state subject, but the entire control system is in Government of India. If there is an inflation, within 1 week, the government of India will start taking action in regard to imports or restrictions and all that. When there is a farmer's distress, why is that the same governments are not responding? Today the question is, we farmers are asking the whole country is, this is not particularly Modi or XYZ, look at the industry. Every year in the last 20 years, you are giving a 3 to 4, 5 lakhs of rupees as a revenue foregone to industry as an incentive. You call it something, we are not going to detail. That is what you give it to industry. Okay. Now look at the government employees. Out of 18-19 lakh crores, just for those meager number of government employees, how much you are spending? 3 to 4 lakhs of crores. Now if you look at industry, they fix their own prices. And when you look at employees, you have a pay commissions, TS and DS. But when it comes to farmers, the entire terms of trade is against farmers. You, Government of India, you fix the prices of MRP of all the inputs, and you don't allow exports. You have a lot of restrictions for processing. You go on saying something. The question today before everybody is, why is that the situation has come to this boiling stage?
Right. You've run out of time. Okay.
Stage, will it expand and go? If so, is there any solution?
Your 2 minutes are up. Your 2 minutes are up. Your 2 minutes are up. Sujay Kantawala believes that no, we should not give farm loan waivers. Sujay, why?
See, all the speakers on the show have expressed their deep concern, and this is a boiling issue. So let's look at it this way. One state farmers, they get waiver. The other state farmers are definitely going to say that, look, give us equality before the law. That is one issue. How are you going to tackle it? Second is, where does the salaried class go? For people like us who have got 100% check payment and we pay all our taxes, we have no one to waive off anything. We have to pay everything. You have corporates, big corporates, thousands and thousands of crores. They get restructuring, their debt is restructured, they get 30 years off, you pay me back. So then you have, why don't we apply that same policy as far as this is concerned? How can you just have an annual ritual by which Chandrashekar, as Chandrashekar Saab said, you can just waive off? It's very dangerous. You cannot just incentivize.
Happens near elections, interestingly.
Yeah, so you cannot incentivize this kind of a protest. What you need to do is you need to overall improve. The Swaminathan committee's recommendations are there. Look at the Merrill Lynch report which has come. They said that if all the states waive off the loans, there'll be 2,57,000 crores which will just go out, and that's 2% of our GDP. Now that's scary. So therefore, one has to look at that point. So therefore, I feel that what you need to do is you just don't need to waive off the whole thing. You need to sympathize. You need to understand that there is a drought. There are other problems. We have very small farmers also.
Okay.
So all I'm saying is that you just don't need to waive off everything. You need to make certain categories where you could extend the repayment schedule, and you have to improve the whole sector as a whole. You see, the problem is that our farmers, and rightly so, have not been given their due. We need to give them their due. They perform a very important function in our economy, and therefore I feel that a very sympathetic approach is required, but a complete waiver would send very wrong signals.
All right, I want to take this to Nasir Hussein, spokesperson of the Congress party. Nasir Hussein, I want you to respond to G. Chandrashekar, who said no government, previous or current, have done anything for the farmers. What's your response?
See, I'd like to point out two things. One is there can always be this discussion, there can always be this debate, not only in agricultural sector, in every sector, as to what successive governments have done. And always, especially from the incumbent government at the center, this debate has been promoted that for the past 60-70 years nothing has happened in this country. But I would like to say, I think all the other panelists would like to agree that from 2006-7 to 2013-14, I think these years were considered to be some of the best years or good years for agricultural production, and every sector, whether it was agricultural produce export that happened in this year, agricultural production that improved, and all other facilities that were extended to the agricultural sector. I think these years are considered to be best years. And point number two is, so now why this debate and what is happening in our country? Why are there farmers agitating in Madhya Pradesh, in Maharashtra, in Tamil Nadu, in Uttar Pradesh, in Rajasthan? Why are they agitating? Point number one is this government, and especially Mr. Narendra Modi, during 2014 election, he had gone down the town telling that, promising that MSP plus 50% of the cost of production will be given to all the farmers across the country. This was what was promised. Point number one. And as one of the panelists just now mentioned, that some loan waiver was done in Uttar Pradesh for some farmers. Because I think that touched only few farmers, and that was only for the for one crop. I think that was only for one crop, for which there is no white paper, how much money has been sent, how much loan waivers has been done. Nothing has come to the public domain till now. But the point is, the kind of hype that was created around that loan waivers, farm loan waivers in Uttar Pradesh, has created some sort of aspiration for the other farmers.
Your time has run out. Nasir Hussain, let me point out to you as my rebuttal. Let me point out to you, Nasir Hussain, your 2 minutes are up. Your 2 minutes are up. Everybody got equal time on this panel, Nasir Hussain. I will come back to you for a rebuttal. Nasir Hussain, you have to respect the rules of the debate.
Yeah.
From 1995 to 2015,
Thank you.
NCRB data analysis shows us that 3,18,528 farmers committed suicide. That is a rate of 1 farmer suicide per hour over 10 years, irrespective of which government was in power. That is unfortunately the truth about various governments and their performance. Also, let's not forget that the UPA government used the farm loan waiver before one such election, left the country with a massive current account deficit, also external debt, also spiraling food inflation. So, we can't paint a picture that nothing was wrong and everything was honky-dory. Shrikant is on Skype. Shrikant used to work with the World Bank and also believes that there should be no farm loan waiver. Shrikant, your 2 minutes start now.
I think loan waiver is a type of affirmative intervention. I'm not either conforming nor rejecting the position which you have outlined. Now, from a pure economic perspective, at least in the case of Maharashtra, our debt to GSDP ratio will go from near about 16.26 to 17.44. So our fiscal deficit is expected to increase by at least more than 1%. But that apart, there are certain ramifications, inflationary ramifications. There is undermining of the honest trade culture, as Urjit Patel said. There is an adverse impact on the trade disciplines, so forth and so on. Now, however, the real conundrum is that about exploring whether this particular policy position, these kind of observations are consistent. I will draw your specific attention to a small point and I will conclude. In 2016 economic survey, Dr. Arvind Subramanian, one of the finest brains, one of the finest economic thinkers of our country, he said that he was talking vis-a-vis a certain 10 corporate groups. He was saying that penalizing the substantial share of private capital expenditure might lead to the destruction of assets. And then he said that we will need to manage a tricky trade-off between perpetrator pays principle and reviving already a weaker part of, a weaker section of the, weaker dimension of the economy. Now, if you take that context and put it in farmers' context, if you take these propositions and put it today in farmers' context, right, what you would get? I think that is where the answer is. Right.
Okay, okay. So everybody has had their say. Everybody has had their say, and I want to go back right now for people to get an opportunity to respond. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, I want you to respond to a couple of these questions. First of all, you did say that there are a lot of things that the government is working on. Our farmer panelists tell us none of it is showing on the ground and they do not have the patience. My question to you is, there is a need for an immediate solution while the country boils over, and this is spreading, so it's obviously a panic situation right now. There is need for an immediate solution. Is there an immediate solution working from the government at this point? We've heard nothing positive so far. We've heard nothing about a solution that the government is looking at. What is the government exploring as a solution at this point? Gopal Krishna Agarwal.
Immediate solution is increasing the MSP. As in the Madhya Pradesh agitation, the Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan increase the MSP of the 3 major products that were the demand of the farmers on 4 June itself. The second important thing is that we are working on bringing the farmers out of the clutches of APMC mandis. Local mandis are the biggest problem. A person growing onion in Indore farmer gets a price of 2 to 3 rupees. 2 to 3 rupees, and the same product is available commodity in Delhi for 15 to 20 rupees. The middleman is taking all the benefit.
How are you solving that problem? How are you solving that problem?
One market, agriculture, commodities, item. That is that's why I'm telling. There are 585 mandis under the APMC Act. The people in the APMC mandis, those adatiyas do not allow the farmers to go out and sell to other path than the mandis. We are setting up e-mandis. More than 200 e-mandis have already been incorporated, through which a farmer is able to sell across the nation, and even a buyer from here. At present, he cannot go to the local mandi because their local people do not allow through the APMC Act to participate.
So your one argument is that you have set up a national agricultural market under the e-mandi. Under the e-mandi, Yogesh Pandey. Yogesh Pandey.
Yes, and out of 585, we have already done. Just let me finish.
Increase the hope of farmer. Today, farmers have lost hope with this government.
Then I am telling you, then other issues.
He is miserable in condition.
On coverage of irrigation area, we have
first and topmost priority is to give him loan waiver. And what we are asking, not blanket, but to true farmers who are doing full-time farming. There are a lot of people under the name or under the disguise of farming, they are milking the benefit, and there are the parasites who have been alive and who have been sucking farmers for years. Now, why the death suicides have increased in 1995? The answer lies in opening of economy. When the economy was opened, how the price of farm produce are decided, that should be the question to now be debated. When we see there is nothing in hands of farmers, top multinational commodity houses, please go to data. We have got Chandrashekar, our experts, and he will answer on that. That there are a lot of people, lot of houses, they are trading on commodity bourses, and when the farmers sow and the time he cultivate, please go through the data. What are the prices? Take for each season, each commodity.
Let's bring in G. Chandrashekar for this. G. Chandrashekar, a couple of questions for you. One is this e-mandi, does it actually work? Secondly, do farmers actually now, the BJP representative says there will be minimum support price given to everybody. Is that actually working out? And thirdly, there was so much talk about these food parks where we'll be able to store food. Has that happened? Has any of these things happened on the ground, G. Chandrashekar?
Right. So 3 points. One is, first is called e-NAM. That's the National Agriculture Markets. It's still in the experimental stage in Karnataka. In Karnataka, it's doing reasonably well, but there are still a lot of teething problem. In my opinion, it will take anything between 3 and 5 years for the e-NAM to cover the entire country. That's number one. Number two, in 2003, the Government of India came up with a model bylaws for the APMC mandis for all the states, but not all the states adopted that. I don't specifically remember about Madhya Pradesh, but many states rejected, some states adopted with amendments, and therefore it was not uniformly implemented. Now, this government has come up with another model rules for adoption by the states, so that farmers are able to sell their produce to the private sector outside of the mandi system, which is fine because that gives the farmer a lot of freedom. So one was e-NAM. The second was, what was the second point? I'm sorry.
The second point was, the fact that there are these food parks that should have happened.
Have the food parks happened? In fact, there were 10 food parks which were cleared. I think only 2 food parks are functional, but food park is at the far end of the chain. Just by setting up food parks, we are not going to be able to solve the problem of the agriculture.
Can I come in?
We will be able to solve the problem of the agriculture sector by creating conducive environment and policy for a resurgence in agriculture, for which we need investment support, research support, and policy support, which in my opinion is completely inadequate. over the last several years.
One second. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, I have to give everybody an equal amount of time to talk. I want to bring in Chengal Reddy here. Chengal Reddy, there are, of course, farmers in India are categorized in 5 different categories. There are marginal farmers, there are marginalized farmers, there are landless laborers. The government should have the ability to tell apart those people who are rich farmers, who are taking advantage of the tax system, and those people who are actually desperate, who cannot pay back 1 lakh rupees of loan.
See, the situation today is so serious, there isn't any amount of discussion is not acceptable to farmers. We know there is not question of accepting it. The only solution which Government of India must immediately start working, who can share what? For example, waiver of the loan, probably be a certain point it can be shared by Government of India and state governments. The interest part also can be shared by Government of India, other thing. You have to find a solution. The second issue is about MSP, which we are also very particular. Let me tell you, Mr. Modi no doubt promised about 50, but he can't escape just giving 2-3%. We will not accept it. You must come out with some real good reasonable minimum support price to solve the problems. The third aspect is the procurements. You see, if you are not able to do, you hand it over to private sector. Let there be some methodology where they can procure it at MSP, store it. And then there are other things. You see, recently they put GST on fertilizer, pesticides and machinery. What is the point in putting 12% GST on fertilizer when you say your own documents of your own this thing says that you want to give inputs cheap. Now you go on putting it taxes. Pesticides you have put 18%, tractors you have put. Now the point which I am trying to explain is very simple, ma'am. There is nothing like loan waiver, it is acceptable or not, it is over. We farmers demand these things and it must be done. Who has to do, how to do is a different thing. There are also other very critical things which Modi must do in a time-bound manner. 2-3 only I will tell you. One is APMC. My simple question to BJP and Mr. Modi is, ask your state governments to implement it in next 72 hours. What is your difficulty? Tell me. If you can't do it, tell us, we will do it. The next one is very easy, which is in the hands of Government of India. Manrega. Why don't you call all the concerned people and link Manrega with agriculture? What is your difficulty? See, 70,000 crores you are spending on Manrega. Why don't you divert it for productivity purpose? See, look, ultimately the point is, I know we are very grateful to media for highlighting. But let me tell you, if you see this strike and agitation is going to be very virulent across the country in the coming months, and the whole country, economy, everybody, especially in the cities, are going to suffer. We will also suffer. And what has to be done is very clear.
Let's take that question back to Gopal Krishna Agarwal, and then everybody else can respond. Chengal Reddy. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, Chengal Reddy asked you a very clear question. What is your difficulty in implementing APMC across all states? What is your difficulty in making the changes that are needed? Gopal Krishna Agarwal, and then we'll come back to the rest of the panel.
One thing is APMC, first thing is state subject, second thing is there are local mandis which are very powerful and they are not allowing the modification of
instruct the states to adopt them.
Center, I say, look, please, friends, let us understand. Government of India has enormous amount of control.
We have found a way out.
Let him answer. Yes,
you have a BJP government.
Right. Let him answer. Let him answer. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
Mr. Agarwal, go ahead. Mr. Agarwal, go ahead.
Okay, let me finish. We have found a way out. Yeah, we have found a way out by e-mandis and installation of GST. There will be a national market. Any farmer across the country can sell his product across any. So wait for this for July. No, not already 200 e-mandis out of 585 have been converted to e-mandis. And by
referring to the national agriculture market, the e-NAM.
It is not a big technology. It is simply
7,500.
What are the short-term solutions?
Yeah, not
7,500 mandis across the country. Will you be able to? You're telling me that 200 are functional. There are 7,500 APMC mandis across the country. Will you be able to replace all of them in the next how long? 6 months, 8 months, 10 months?
586. Yeah, it is
your
not
numbers
a
are off. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, your numbers are off. I'm sorry, your numbers are off. Mr. Chandrashekar, go ahead. Mr. Chandrashekar, go ahead.
It's 586.
I'm saying
No, it is 586. The second important thing I want to mention
Mr. Chandrashekar, we should let wrong numbers go on air. Mr. Chandrashekar, correct the numbers, please.
I am aware that there are 7,500 mandis across the country.
For sure.
Mandi system is under the control of the state government. But all the mandis are highly politicized. We need to depoliticize the mandi system and bring in a lot more transparency by bringing in technology in the mandis. And that needs terrific political will on the part of the state government, which unfortunately is lacking.
586, how can, one second, that doesn't even add up. How can this, the length and breadth of this country be covered by 586 mandis?
In Maharashtra, there are 300 mandis. Please check your figures.
Listen, what is very important is what Mr. Reddy and Mr. Pandey have just said.
Second is,
and therefore, we cannot have any knee-jerk solution over here or just throwing figures here and there. We need a pure holistic approach, and immediately we need to end this violence, because look, we as citizens are completely distressed as what is happening. Every human life that is being lost, apart from the damage to our country's property and other infrastructure, and now they are talking about rail roko and other things.
We are living the nation where we spend 1 lakh rupees on Justin Bieber.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, Sujay, as urban Indians, one second, Mr. Pandey, one second. As urban Indians, we were raised on the slogan Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Sujay. We've forgotten one half of that statement, unfortunately.
Our farmers, we are extremely proud. We depend totally on our agriculture economy. I'm proud to say that on national TV. All I'm saying is that the violence is extremely distressing.
Loan waiver is not the only solution.
Loan waiver is not the solution. We accept that, but we are right now talking about what the solutions are. Nasir Hussain of the Congress Party, isn't this bad habit of loan waivers? Wasn't this set by the UPA government? One second.
More than doubling it.
Right. Nasir Hussain, this bad precedent of mass loan waivers, wasn't this set by the UPA government? And now we have one government after the other sort of repeating this mistake and putting the country into a permanent loop of debt.
Fair. See, now you have to understand why the farmers are agitating. The point number one. See, there are farmer suicides happening irrespective of whichever government is there. Farmer suicides are happening.
Nasir,
like 35 farmers are dying per day. If you see, please listen to me. If you look at the figures, last 3 years, say 12,360, 12,602.
I already called out those figures.
More than 14,000 farmers have committed suicide. And Madhya Pradesh alone in the last 14 years, 18,000 farmers have committed suicide. So why are they committing suicide? Because they are distressed.
Yes, we've established that, Nasir Hussain. My question to you is, wasn't the precedent of a farm loan waiver set by the UPA government?
My simple question to the BJP is, what is the government at the center doing when there is so much of
this is unfortunately, unfortunately, Nasir Hussain, I will allow you to ask questions to the BJP representative after you answer my questions. After you answer my questions, Nasir Hussain, the Swaminathan Committee on Farmers submitted its report in October 2006 when there was a UPA government in the center. Why wasn't the Swaminathan Committee report actually... One second, Nasir Hussain, I will allow you, in all fairness, to ask the BJP representative a question after you have answered my questions. My first question is, there is the Swaminathan Committee report which farmers are making a demand on right now. This was submitted in 2006 when the UPA government was in power. Why was it not enforced? If you believe governments should do something for farmers, why wasn't this done? Secondly, this precedent of giving farm loan waivers and not solving the actual problems was set by the UPA government, which has now sent us into this permanent loop. If you believe farm loan waivers should not be given, why did you do it to begin with?
See, if you don't want to waive the loans of the farmers that the farmers are demanding, so why are you not doing what you have promised in 2014 election? You should give them MSP.
You're not answering my question, Nasir. Nasir Hussain, you're not answering my question, and in all fairness, you cannot expect anybody to answer yours.
Not doing that?
You're not answering my question, Nasir Hussain.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We have not implemented the report. Let the BJP implement it. What it is doing for the last 3 years. Why is there a fall in agricultural production? Why is there a fall in exports? Why is there a fall in everything in the last 3 years?
Farmers.
Okay. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, please comment. Nasir Hussain has written off the 10 years of the UPA government and said we didn't do it. Now what's your excuse? That's a very disappointing response. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, go ahead. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, go ahead.
There were two important, there were two important demands that the suggestion from the Swaminathan committee report. That was, one was the insurance cover. Provide a transparent, better, efficient insurance cover to the farmers by Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. All the three important aspects with regard to direct transfer to their account, with regard to loss assessment at the technological driven loss assessment for the farm losses, and the third was low premium. All the three demands have been implemented by Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Second important demand suggestion was create a national agriculture market.
Out of 17,184 crores, only 6,800 has gone to the people. What has happened to the 10,000
market?
10,400 crores?
Important thing was
it has gone to your friends,
increase the area of irrigation coverage. We have targeted.
You tell me how
of the irrigation
area. Give me the data as how much.
Mr. Gopal, please give me the data as to how much premium has been given and how much. Calm down. I know that if I allow the BJP and the Congress to go at each other, we will be doing this tutu meme of you did for whatever is left of the rest of my show. To put this into perspective, I'll come back to you, Nasir Hussain.
Can I come in for a moment, please?
No, you may not. I'm going to put this in. No, gentlemen, I gave you both enough time. You spent all of that time just blaming each other at a point when we should be uniting to save our farmers.
30 seconds.
No, 30 seconds. No 30 seconds. I gave you both an equal amount of time. Now stop wasting most of my time. I want to put this into perspective. I want to put this.
Let me give you some data, ma'am.
Mr. Nasir Hussain, when I asked you questions, you gave me. You turned around and said that you did nothing. So
now, the BJP spokesperson is lying on the television channel. Let me give you some data.
1 second. Viewers of the urban debate, let me point out to you that over the 10 years between 1995 and 2015, one farmer died every hour. One farmer died every hour. Nasir Hussain, stop turning this into a political slugfest. If you want to do a political slugfest, there are other channels.
No, you can't do this. When somebody is lying on the television channel, you can't protect him.
You can't protect anybody.
When somebody is lying on the television channel.
I would love for the two of you to protect the farmers, but we are running footage of our screen of farmers being shot at this country, and you are sitting here and starting a political slugfest of who killed less farmers. Shame on both of you.
No, not political. It is not political. Then why do you call politicians on your show?
I shouldn't.
If you don't want our point of view, then why do you call politicians on the show?
Sujay Kantawala,
don't waste time.
No, it is appalling that Mr. Hussain is behaving like this. It is appalling. For 10 years, he says that his government did not implement the Swaminathan committee report. Now, all we need is a sympathetic view of this whole thing and a practical suggestion. The country is burning today. We need, and this is a kind of slugfest we don't expect. We expect a mature debate. Sir, we expect a mature debate.
Just to be fair, Yogesh Pandey, 8 minutes, sir. Nasir Hussain, 30 seconds. I'm giving you 30 seconds. Tell us what is this earth-breaking data you want to give us. Go ahead, Nasir Hussain.
See, I have 2 points. One is Mr. Gopal Krishna, BJP spokesperson, are telling that they have, to the Fasal Bima Yojana, that they have given insurance cover to all the farmers.
20 seconds.
My point, I was making a point that the government has given a premium of 17,184 crores. But the actual amount that has reached the farmers is 6,808 crores. I am asking what about the 10,400 crores that has not reached the farmers? Point number one. Point number two, when you are speaking about the loan waiver, I just want to make a point to Mr. Agarwal. See, you have made a loan waiver of 1,54,000 crore for about 50-60 businessmen. For about 50-60 businessmen. So you are not even thinking of doing something for 62% of the population.
Your time is up. Correct.
Not a loan waiver to the businessmen.
I'm going to take this to Yogesh Pandey. Yogesh Pandey. And
both the
Reddy,
parties are equally responsible for the condition of farmers. Even Congress cannot escape by passing ball game to the BJP. And it was BJP which promised to farmers that after we coming to power, farmers in destinations are going to get achhe din. Why this government has not declared farming or agriculture sector a priority sector? Today, agriculture is the largest employment generation sector, but sadly, there is no honor for farmer. The way these both people are speaking is very sad, and they are just muddling each other. That is not acceptable. Today also, 3 farmers committed suicide. In last 4 days, 9 farmers have committed suicide after assurance given by Honorable Chief Minister of Maharashtra. The things are very, very serious. Please wake up. And I request entire nation or the urban population to step up and stand with the farmers. Farmers are the son of the soil. 80% police force, 70% military, they are the sons of farmer. And the question, the slogan, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, please don't make it Mar Jawan, Mar Kisan. And if these people start to revolt, there will be a serious problem. Please wake up and stand with farmer. And what are we asking? And loan waiver, okay, for the corporate sector, 50-60 companies, 5 lakh crore. Then yesterday, Mr. Arundhati was telling 4 lakh crore of the telecom sector to be restructured. Why don't we restructure farmers' loan? Okay, no waiver, you restructure it, give them 10 years moratorium, 10-year restructuring, give them fresh finance, and assure that they get an adequate price of their produce. Government should stop intervening in the farming policy and to suit the urban population, and because that is a mass vote bank, and rural population is taken as a granted. Now, the import-export policy of the government, if you see in last 10-15 years,
so you're saying, there should be a management of prices, there should be a management of markets. G. Chandrashekar, I know that you like to be very unemotional about all of the statistics that you talk about, but you'll forgive me. I get emotional when we talk about this particular topic. Because simply the numbers you gave us, 130 million farmers in our country. This is the backbone of our country. We're an agricultural economy. And fundamentally, what are we going to do if tomorrow morning, and Mumbai had a scare a couple of weeks ago, what are we going to do if tomorrow morning the vegetables and the fruits and the milk doesn't come into our cities? What will we feed our children? And then the basic question, shooting at our farmers, police opening fire, this sort of insensitive, despite the fact that people are committing suicide, insensitively saying at the end of the day that it's politically motivated. The Congress showing up, the Aam Aadmi Party choppering into areas that are in distress right now for photo ops. The Agriculture Minister doing yoga instead of focusing on the problem at hand. It just all looks like, and in all, I'm not in any way targeting any one political party. I think you've all collectively mismanaged the situation. This is a result of collective mismanagement of all political parties. And I think right now they should all go straight back to their offices and find a way to put their egos aside and put their politics aside and work together. We have brilliant minds in this country. Why can't we work together, Mr. Chandrashekar?
Without an iota of doubt, farmers need to be treated with great honor. There is no doubt at all. That's number one. Number two, I am not in favor of loan waiver, but I certainly would be in favor of loan restructuring or loan rescheduling. Given the fact that over the last 3 years, 2 out of the last 3 years, we had below normal monsoon, El Nino conditions, etc. And therefore, loan rescheduling, perfect. We have to look at, as a nation, a long-term solution to our agriculture crisis, the distress situation. I have spoken on a number of occasions and written articles on 6 mantras for agriculture resurgence. If you want, I'll repeat. I probably said that 2 days ago. One is we need to strengthen the input delivery system. We need to rapidly expand our irrigation. We need to invest in rural infrastructure. We need to invest agriculture with multiple technologies. We need to build capacity amongst farmers to withstand market volatility and price volatility, because we are in a marketized economy. Last, we are a globalized economy. Our markets are rapidly integrating with the global economy. And it is subject to the volatility of the global economy. Have we done enough to build capacity amongst farmers to withstand this volatility? No. We need to do that.
You know, I also want to bring up something. I'll take this to Chengal Reddy. Chengal Reddy, first of all, we have no support for prices at this point. all governments have come and gone. Right now, we have no support for prices on several vegetables and several other crops. Secondly, we currently don't have, like you said, rural employment guarantee. So a lot of farmers use cows, they use buffaloes, they sell milk to substitute that income. Now there is a problem with that as well. Where does that leave our farmers, Chengal Reddy?
Now, I am deviating from the subject. Please try to understand my problem. You see, because the situation has become very serious. Today, through this, your media, I am making an appeal to the people in cities, professionals, businessmen, industrialists, administrators. It's very simple. This is my appeal, this is my request, and this is also my warning. Please understand that in the coming months, farmers are going to stop supply of milk, vegetables, and maybe once if government doesn't respond, you will have serious problems of getting electricity and water also. So therefore, since most of you are very familiar, every one of you have a mobile, just just tweet tomorrow or next 10 days, 15 days to Mr. Modi, sir, we are not going to get our vegetables, fruits and all that. Farmers are threatening us. So please do take some care. And if that doesn't solve this problem in next 30 days, you will have very serious problems. These discussions apart, I mean, I have nothing personal. I am trying to explain to you that these patience of the farmers have come to an end. They are totally out of control. They are furious with this political system, and they take law into their own hands. None of your military or your police force can stop them. Remember, 5 lakh villages.
Pardon me for butting in. Very clearly, I believe genuine farmers will go back to farming in the next 10 to 12 days when the monsoon covers the entire country.
No, forget about it. No more. Please don't preach us. You use your influence. You are all being fed in this country. You privileged sections have had all the privileges in the last 70 years. Now the time has come. If you don't respond, you are going to pay a big price.
All right, Gopal Krishna Agarwal, on behalf of the ruling government, please respond to what Chengal Reddy has just said.
Only handing out a threat.
The one thing I want to say before the audience of your channel is that as a responsible government, we understand the farmer situation is bad in the country. It is our responsibility as a central government, and PM Modi has several times said that we will do our best for the farmers or the backward classes through insurance cover, larger coverage of the irrigation land facility, doubling them, creating a national agriculture market, reducing the input cost and giving them alternative employment opportunities either through Stand Up India, Startup India or Mudra Bank loan, so that they can come shift to other employment opportunities. It is our responsibility. Even for short-term measures, we are trying to do with interest subversion on their interest loans, and even every time I am on one of the bank board, we do agriculture farm loan restructuring every year. It is done at the bank level. So that is not the question. And what I am telling you is that it is important that short-term measure also, just listen, I have listened you patiently. We will support them from MSP also. MSP is one thing that is very important for farmers to get the right prices of their product. It is every year decided. It is based on inflation.
MSP is not on all crops.
Everything will be considered.
That is why farmers are demanding MSP.
In the whole show, I have not blamed Congress. I have said only what, as a BJP, as a current government, we have done for the farmers. I have not done like other people that they are blaming BJP for 3 years of the current status.
Mr. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, you said, of course, that minimum support price is a return of the investment that the farmer has
What do you expect, man? the people will blame the government.
No, let me say this, that I'm sure that the powers that be are watching this this amazing debate that you have had, and the different voices and the different ideas. And I'm sure that something is going to come out of this. I only hope that the violence and the way in which this is all turning out and spiraling out of control, as a citizen and as a person who belongs, is very extremely proud of our farmers, that I just hope that it stops, and I hope that we have a good monsoon and we have happy and smiling faces. That is all I can pray to the Almighty.
I'm hoping genuine farmers will go back to farming over the next 2 weeks when the monsoon covers the entire country.
All right, I have to wrap up this discussion right now, but I must remind you viewers that our senior editor Mandar Fanse actually was on the ground in Nasik yesterday. He went village to village, he went speaking to farmers, and those farmers are truly in distress. They want minimum support price for all of their crops. Like Gopal Krishna Agarwal told us, that it exists and it's a good thing the government is doing. It's only for a few crops. It's not for all of them. They don't all get minimum support price. And consider the fact that there is tax on tractors. Consider the fact that farm equipment actually comes at a very high interest rate when they borrow to buy farm equipment. Consider the fact that while they get free electricity, it's actually available only for a couple of hours a day. For most of the day, they don't have electricity, they don't have water. Such a large portion of our country is not irrigated, still depends on the rain, on the rain gods in this day and age. And consider a farmer who spends months with his back bent, sowing and looking after a crop that could be completely destroyed with one turn of bad weather, because he's completely dependent on the weather and he doesn't have irrigation. These are problems that our conclusive government should have been able to solve up till now. It is atrocious that in this day and age, in 2017, we have farmers looking at the sky waiting for it to rain. What is this, the 1800s? And because of your collective failure, today we are in this position, and even today you cannot bring yourselves to huddle together and come up with a solution. For heaven's sake, come up with a solution, and for heaven's sake, send a message to our farmers that their interest is what you have in heart, and you will work as hard as you need to, all night if you have to, all week if you have to find the solution immediately. And if you resort to a farm loan waiver by plucking the lowest hanging fruit, we will know that you did not consult the best minds and that you did not take into account all of the suggestions that you have on the table. You must communicate. This sort of silence from our government is uncharacteristic. Please come out and tell our farmers that you will be there for them in their time of need. Thanks for watching.